everyone, and welcome to episode 9 of the Spring Snowflake Podcast. My name's Sophie. If you are a new viewer, thank you very much for coming and giving me a shot. And if you are a returning viewer, welcome back. It's been a while. Although you have had 2 vlogs since my last podcast. Saying that my last podcast was in September. So, my face may be a little bit wonky today because I've just been to the dentist and had 2 fillings. So, like, this side of my face is a little bit numb still. I'm starting to get, you know, that tingly feeling like the pins and needles when the local anaesthetic is starting to wear off? That's what's going on with my face right now. So if I lisp, if I look a bit wonky, that's why. But literally this is the only time I can get to podcast before Vlogmas, and I'll tell you more about that at the end. So this podcast is about all of my adventures in yarn. There's yarn there, there's yarn there. Maud's making an appearance. And just for flick, yes, I'm in a different position. This seems to be the podcast of where the hell is she podcasting from now? I'm hoping that this is now the permanent solution, although you should see, and I will post on Instagram a photo of my filming situation that the camera's on. It's hilarious. Anyway, but I have my desk and I can lean and it's lovely. And there's actual, like, yarny things in the background. So I think hopefully this is going to be my situation from now on. I think I really, 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 really need a proper tripod. I'll take a photo after I finish and I will show you here what my filming situation looks like at the moment. Anyway, so this is a film about all my adventures in yarn, so crochet mostly, but also knitting because I started knitting this year, a bit of sewing and just general life stuff here in South Oxfordshire in the UK. I think that's my introduction done. Yeah. So, it is today the 29th of November. We are almost in December. There's so much happening in December for me, which is why I'll tell you later. What I'm going to talk to you about today is what I'm wearing, because I'm wearing yarn. My finished objects, and there have been a lot since the last time I podcast, but I'm kind of sticking myself to 5, which are the most recent ones. What my current WIPs are, and there's only one. My cues are the next things that I need to get onto my hook or needles, and it's actually just needles. And dream knitting, which is a new thing, but I kind of need your opinion. I don't know if I need your opinion. I think I may just start one, but we'll see. And then a few new things. There has been a few yarn purchases, obviously in the last couple of months, because I went to Yarndale and I went to Yarnporium, and I've had a few things come in the post as well. But I'm just going to share 2 things with you this time because they're awesome. So let's get straight in and show you what Maud's wearing. So this is Maud, my lovely mannequin. Maud is wearing 2 finished objects. My finished objects, and I need to turn my phone on so do not disturb, or otherwise it's going to buzz like it did a lot last time. So, my first finished object, and yes, there are still ends for the eagle, the keen-eyed of you, is my Treasure Island shawl. Now this is the second Treasure Island shawl I've made, and this is for a friend, for Christmas. This is the Treasure Island shawl, which is a pattern by Hannah of the Cozy Cottage Crochet Podcast. She has been on fire this year releasing patterns. This is such a lovely one skein project. I did use 90 grams of 100 gram skein of 4-ply yarn, which this yarn is, all the yarn actually is River Knits BFL 4-ply in her March Riot colourway. This is Becky's kind of ode to the suffragette movement in terms of the colours. And then I highlighted the stitch kind of interest with one of the River Knits minis, 20 gram minis, which is kind of this acid green, which I think, when I bought March Right at Yarndale, I said to Becky, I want something that will contrast but isn't purple. So we stood there for a little while and we chose this kind of acid green, which I love, and it just picks out the stitches really well. It's a shallow triangle shawl, so I used 90 grams of 100 gram skein of BFL Floor 4-ply, so it's 400 metres for 100 grams, and then I used 12 grams. So literally, if you wanted to do this in one skein, you just have to be a bit careful with your yarn management and your gauge. Hannah does say in the pattern quite emphatically that you need to test your gauge because her gauge is quite tight, and my gauge is quite tight as well, but I like the airy kind of drapey feel of this looser gauge, so I think my gauge is actually looser than hers is intended to be, but I quite like this because the one that I made before was shorter out of silk merino 4-ply, my Tits Out collective one from Townhouse Yarns. So this is definitely more robust because it's BFL, but I think my friend is going to love it. So that is another Christmas present done. I will put it back on Maud later, but for now we'll just fold it nicely. The other thing that Maud is wearing is my add-along sweater. So I finished this in record time. Good lord. It's a DK sweater, so it's quite quick anyway, but I couldn't put it down. It was awesome. So what you can't see, and I'll bring it up slightly, is that I've got some fading of a colour pattern panel at the bottom. So I'll insert a close-up here of the whole sweater, but basically it's got this stitch, this yoke and sleeves are all made as one, and it's such a clever construction. It's in the back loop, so it's got this ridge detail. The add-along is designed by Agi Day Designs Deanne, who also has a podcast on YouTube, and then you just go round and round and round, and this kind of it's a really clever way of combining two yarns, because you kind of go in this helical crochet way, and I think there's a way of doing that with knitting as well, but anyway, this was really a really clever construction method of doing, taking the two yarns that you've got, yarns that you've got from the top, and then combining them to do the body. And then I knew I didn't have enough of this grey, so this is Bergère de France pure French merinos. It's 100% merino DK, which I got 10 balls of, so 500 grams, and I knew that wouldn't be enough to make this sweater, so I had some 25 gram minis from John Arbon in 4 colours? Yeah, 4 colours, which I then faded down. So I will post I'll do a photo and kind of do a pan down, and show you the whole thing. Down the bottom is a split hem, so you have it's longer at the back than it is at the front, and again this is really clever, the ribbed hem, how she does it. So I would thoroughly recommend this pattern. It was a dream to work with. Deanne writes very, very detailed patterns, so and I love it, and I wore it this weekend. I actually just pulled this from the washing pile. Yeah, I wore it this weekend I was vending at a Christmas market for my brother's business, and I was so toasty. It was lovely. I wore this. Oh, I haven't told you what I'm wearing. Despite saying I would say that at the start. I'll tell you in a minute. Yeah, this, I wore the add-along, I wore a vest top underneath it, I wore my Hotel Abbey shawl, and I wore a head warmer, and I was so toasty warm. It's lovely. I didn't even have to wear a coat. So very, very nice. One thing though, I was wearing a crossbody bag, and it has pilled down the side, so I need to get a gleaner and sort that out. What I would say is that the John Arbon Knit by Numbers 4-ply DK, which is what the colours are, is a lot softer than the Bergère de France. So it bloomed a lot more when I blocked it, whereas this kind of stayed in its structure. So this actually pulled in a little bit when I blocked it, and the stitches are definitely closer together, I would say. So just be a bit careful, even though they're both 100% merino, I think because the way they're both spun, I don't know, they've come out a little bit differently when water's been added. And you can also see that in the fact that the grey's pilled a little bit, actually you can see it in the underarms, but hair, underarms, I'm getting what Faye has. Faye, the Crochet Circle podcast, gets upset about hair in the underarms of woolen jumpers. Anyway, but yeah, definitely there's more pilling, I think, from that. So yeah, so that's the add-along. Oh, the sun's coming out. Can you tell? Because my light's just gone really bright. Right, we're going back to what I'm wearing. I'm wearing my Hotel Abbey shawl, which you guys have seen. I love this thing. It's one of my coziest winter shawls. It's awesome. And I made this out of Shepjes stonewashed. Yeah, stonewashed, the sport version. And then I'm also wearing my Stitcher Tees Kickstarter crochet hook and ball and yarn sweater, which I love as well. I am so into my sweaters at the moment. I bought one of theirs at Yarnporium and it's fabulous. I also have a Scamp and Dude one, which I love, and I've asked for another one. In fact, I've asked for a new hoodie as well from Stitcher's Tees for Christmas. Anyway, so next finished objects. The head warmer that I was wearing in that photo is this. This is the Holly head warmer, which is part of the Christmas collection by the Queen Stitch. This is a colourwork. Can you see the floats? This is a stranded colourwork head warmer, so I had to leave my floats quite loose because it needed to stretch over my head. It was still quite tight. So I think if I did this again, at some points I was using 3 colours per row, and that's quite difficult, 3 colour colour work. I much prefer 2 colour work of the stuff I've done. So it was good. I would say you really need to test your gauge, particularly with your colour work. This I think I made a little bit too tightly, but I still wore it. It still was cosy, and it's a good pattern for just a general head warmer anyway. So a friend of mine has actually just asked for exactly this, basically, but I think with just colour blocking, which will be much easier. That one, sticking with headwear, I finished, this is going to be a Christmas present. This is a just a simple hat. It's by Pearl Soho, the pattern, which is called Basic Hats for Everyone, and actually has see, the sun's come out and it's all yellow. There we go. In the pattern, this was a free download if you sign up to their newsletter, I think. Oh, that sun is really yellow. We'll see how we do. And there's a ribbed version, there's a garter rib version, there's a rolled brim hat version, there's one with ear flaps, all in the same pattern. So I did the standard rib hat. All the same needle, you don't have to change your needle, which is quite interesting. For the other hats that I've done, you change your needles after you've done the ribbing. And the yarn is Drops Alaska for the band, and then this is, I think it's Jo Knit Sew. It is a merino silk nylon Aran in her rainbow mashup colourway. And this needs a pom-pom. I'm going to show you the pom-poms. I'm going to show you. So one of the things I recently acquired was lots of pom-poms. And I'm blaming Knit. I'm blaming Caroline because she keeps talking about these poms. They're in this bag. And I went, well, I need some pom-poms. So we have Snow. These are all from Cowling Country Crafts, and I'm blaming Knit. That one. Or there's a black one, which I quite like. Or there is a navy. Where's my navy? That's my navy. The navy's quite nice, but I don't know if it goes with the teal. And then we've got Arctic Fox, which has got black bits on the ends, which again is quite nice. Or there's Silver Fox. I don't think Silver Fox is going to go. No. And then there's Ostrich, which is just giant, which I don't think will go. So the other option I have is I've got this one. Oh, that might go. I may need to put an Instagram poll on this, but anyway, I've got lots of poms. This one I love. This is called Bonfire. It'll never go, but it's got orangey bits on the tips. I love it. So I've got a lot of poms from Cowling Country Crafts for hats that I'm making. So this is going to be a Christmas gift. Not quite sure who's getting it yet, but it will need a pom, and I need to work out which pom it's going to have. So there you go. My final finished object, I am so happy that on the 29th of November 2018 I can say that I finished my 2017 Advent blanket in time for the next Advent, which you'll see there. I've got 3 Advent calendars for this year, and that doesn't include a chocolate one that I'm sharing with the small. So I have the Vicky Brown one, I have the Fibre Lounge one, and I have a bag of beauties from Flowerhead2 on Instagram, which we swapped minis as part of the Lay Family Yarn Advent swap. Anyway, back to my blanket. It's done! So I joined it with Drops Fable, and then I did a just very simple border of 3 rounds of treble crochet, and on the sides I kind of did a bit of filet every 4th stitch, and then alternated it on the next row. This is about cot bed size, which means it's going to my daughter. So yeah, this is in the washing pile, was in the washing pile as well, so this now needs to go in the wash. And then properly block now that it's done, but I finished it last night. I'm so pleased. Yeah, I'll take proper pictures of it and post it on Instagram before the end of November, while it's blocking probably, but oh, it just looks so awesome. I love these hexagons and this honeycomb style that it looks, oh, it's just fab. I love it. Anyway, so that is my last finished object. So for those of you who don't know, the minis that I used in the blanket are from my 2017 Vicky Brown Advent calendar, which was a 4-ply sock yarn calendar, and then I joined with Drops Fable, which the off-white colour. I also added some half hexies down the side to just straighten that side up. Each 10-gram mini of my advent calendar made 2 hexagons, and they are, wait a minute, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 round, yes? Yeah, they're 6 round hexagons, based loosely on the pattern by for the weekend blanket by Sandra Cherry Hart, and then I did a join as you go hexagon pattern, which I kind of followed someone else, but then I kind of just went my own way as well. But I really love how it's turned out, and yay, another present done. That's all my FOs. So moving on to my WIPs, of which there is only one, and it's living in my dot bag. My dot bag is holding my Strictly socks, or my 3rd pair of Strictly socks, because I have finished 2 pairs, and these are my chevron socks. So these are a pattern by Sandra at Cherry Hart, which she released for the Strictly sock along. I didn't watch Strictly last weekend, and I probably won't. I was down this weekend. I was down at my family helping out with this Christmas fair at the weekend, and I missed it. And then I got home on Sunday night and I found out the result, and I went, all right. And then I found the loads of people on social media were saying that the Lindy Hopathon was not great, and do you know, I'm just like, do you know what, I'll just miss this week and I'll watch next week. Which means I need to catch up on the hours, so I'll have to watch them. It Takes Two, I think. I am sad that Graham's out, but by all accounts his leaving speech wasn't particularly great, so no one likes someone bitter. Anyway, so that's I'm actually trying something a bit different with these. So this yarn is the Triskelion Skilfing 4-ply, which I will add some nylon thread onto for the contrast heels, toes and cuffs, and then the main colour yarn is Fjord Fibres A Day in Provence, and I just love how those chevrons are knitting up. Now, so this is Magic Loop, sock 1. Sock 2, I've done the ribbing, and I'm trying something new. And this has been totally influenced by Ali of Little Drops of Wonderful, Starry Eyes Ali. I'm trying DPNs. So far, I'm liking them. Ask me again once I've done one of the repeats of the pattern. But I quite like it. The one thing I don't like is the fact that there's always a spare. So I know a lot of people do that and they like stick it in. But I have ordered a DPN cozy from the Little Grey Girl to keep them all together. And we'll see. We'll see. The jury's out, but I'm like, do you know what? I need to actually try and do DPN sock knitting before I discount it. I've started losing the love for short circulars because I found I was doing short circulars for the first 2 repeats, and I found that actually my tension was really bad. So since switching back to Magic Loop, I think it's got a lot better, and my stitches are a lot more even. We'll see. We'll see. I am enjoying sock knitting, so as you'll see from my queue. That is my WIP, my only current WIP at the moment. I do need to do some more. Oh no, zips and yarn. Oh god. Talk amongst yourselves. Anyway, done. So that's my only WIP. So the things that I have on my queue are all knitting. I need to get some crochet in here. Damn. I've got some crochet mitts I need to do for Christmas, so I might start those on my queue as well. I'm going to, so I've got this Titus Pick and Mix yarn, which I bought from Thread the Love before she sadly closed. She's gone off social media, and I don't really know why. And in it comes a pattern for, yeah, let's see if I can show you there you go, some mitts. So I'm going to make the mitts as per pattern. See how we do. So they will be another present. And then I've got some DK socks that I need to start making out of these two. These will be one pair and this will be another pair. This is Regia's 6 ply. One of them is just the 6 ply colours, I think, in the colour 6367 or rainbow. And then the other one is one of the Arnie and Carlos ones, the design line, which is colour 3658. And they will be 2 very large socks, but hence the reason why they're DK, because then it'll be easier, hopefully, and not take as long, hopefully. So that is my cue. Now, moving on to Dream Knitting. I'm just putting my poms away. Let's just put them all in here. Right. Dream Knitting is 4 knitted sweaters, and it's just a case of which I cast on first. And I did want one of them to be my Christmas jumper, but I don't think I've got enough time now to make a DK weight jumper for my size in, what, 3.5 weeks? I don't think it's going to work. Anyway, so it might be my Christmas Eve custom, I don't know. So, first things first, let's go from smallest yarn to largest yarn, is the Petite Knit No Frills sweater. Now I'm, again, blaming Dun to Knit, blaming Caroline. So I've had this yarn, which is the River Knits Splendid for a Small Ply, in Knopse, which I think is Bud colour, since I bought it at Wonderful Wales. And I've got three skeins of this. And I then, before Wonderful Wales, I bought the snow dyed yarn from River Knits, which is called the Rose Tinted Snow Goggles, which is just the most beautiful mohair, which I was going to hold it up with that and do a different sweater, but I've kind of fallen out of love with that sweater. Now, I saw that obviously Amy from Stranded Dye Works has done a no frill sweater, and then I saw Caroline from Dungeon Knit doing hers, the new one, with that much just beautiful mohair. And I realised that actually I couldn't make it out of that, so the 3 of these and the 2 of these, so I needed another mohair. And then Amy from Stranded had her 3rd birthday update, and I will post a picture here of what I bought. I bought quite a lot of pinky shades, which is unlike me. And one of those I bought was this gorgeousness, which is one of her one-of-a-kind colourways. It's called Paint Box 124. And it's just got these kind of peaches and pinks and oranges, and it's just pretty. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to alternate, and I think I'm going to do them in kind of thicker stripe, thinner stripe, thicker stripe, thinner stripe, or maybe stripes on the body and then just that for the arms. I haven't decided yet. So that is going to be the No Frills sweater, which is a bit of stash diving because I've had some of this since March and I need to use it. I don't need to use it, having pretty yarn in my stash is fabulous. But yeah, and annoyingly the bag is broken, so I need to put it in a different bag. Putting things on this table, yeah. Then there's the one that originally was going to be my Christmas sweater, but I don't think I'll have time, which is in my lovely Hide and Hammer River Knits special bag that I bought at Yarnporium. And that is the Bright Above Me sweater. And it looks like that. It is a DK weight sweater, and the yarn colours I'm using for the main one are River Knits again. So this is, oh, it's just gorgeous. I think I'm a little bit scared of it. This is, I'm like, just cast on this one, but I'm a little bit scared of it because, oh, gauge swatching. I'm crap at gauge swatching, I don't know why. Anyway, so this is Summer Liquor Nocturnal, which means Summer Night Sky. And then the stars will be in this gorgeous mustardy, it's a dirty mustard basically, which is called Erntedanke, which means harvest in German. All because of Marcus of Ribbenitz. He's allowed to name them. So that's the Bright Above Me. Then the other ones on my queue are a brand new pattern, which has just come out, which is the Worsted Sock Arms. And that is by Telly Bean Knits, and she's very well known for the Sock Arms, which is a 4-ply yarn, 4-ply sweater. I'll post a picture. But she's just come out with a worsted one for the adults and the children. So I have this gorgeous emerald. How beautiful is that? In West Yorkshire Spinners, Air Valley Essential Aran, which is 75% wool, 25% nylon, and then the same yarn blend, but their stripe. How cool is that for the arms? I think Air Valley is being discontinued, which is a shame, because it's one of the only kind of sock-worthy, I don't know, striped, like Aran / worsted weight yarns I could find online that was commercial rather than hand-dyed. Because also hand-dyed self-striping sock yarn in a worsted weight only seems to come out of America. I don't know very many UK-based dyers that do self-striping, self-striping Aran weight yarn. If you do know any, pop them in the comments below and tell me, because yeah. This is a make that I made, but it also has the yarn for the 4th dream knitting. So this was a test sew that I did for Jade of Stitch Mischief. She's Mischief Maker. She's the Stitch Mischief podcaster, but I think she's Mischief Maker on Instagram. I'll pop it here if I'm wrong. This is her Finch bucket, but she realised that she's Canadian. Her patterns are in, and there goes the light, her patterns are in inches only, so could be putting off people who work in metric. So she asked for testers for her pattern in centimetres, and I offered, and she went, would you do the patchwork one? And I went, I haven't done patchwork in ages, but okay. And you can tell I haven't done patchwork in ages because things don't match up. But this thing is giant, and I love it, and it was a really good pattern. So when she does, I think she has sorted the updated one out, I think. If she hasn't, I'll pop a link in my show notes. Show notes are on my blog as usual. But I really enjoyed making it. It took a while because I patchwork, but it's a really clever construction. The pockets inside are stunning. They are so clever. This is vintage Laura Ashley fabric from my granny's stash. And the outside is a fat quarter stack from Hobbycraft. But in here is Paintbox Wool Mix Chunky, which is 50/50 wool acrylic. I got 10 balls of that because they were doing a pack offer. And this is just beautiful. This I think is called Wine. No, what's it called? The colour on here is 1015, but I will pop down what it actually is called. It's Paintbox Wool Mix Chunky, and this will end up being an owl's sweater. So the owl sweater was 10 years old this year, but it is a chunky knitted bottom up sweater by Kate Davies. And I just thought, actually, this fits 10 balls of this yarn. It does take 840 metres of yarn from my size, which is just astonishing. But we'll see. So those are my 4. I kind of think I should just bite the bullet and make my Bright Above Me sweater. I'm a little scared. Yeah. After this weekend, maybe. Anyway, new things. They're both here. So, I participated in Get Your Yarn Wishes Granted. I think it's still going on Instagram, which is where you post what your yarn wishes are, and it doesn't have to be yarn, but it has to be something related to what you do. And then you go ahead and you find other people that want yarn, which is granted that you can grant. So I put up that anything in my Ravelry wish list, and I'll pop a link below. If you ever want to support this podcast, buy me my patterns on my queue. So yeah, so I put basically DK or Aran weight yarn, hand-dyed yarn. What else did I put? I put something else, I can't remember what else I put. And the gorgeous Beck, who is Pixie Catechus, and also black horse yarn, because there's a white horse near me. The black horse yarn sent me this fabulous skein of yarn. How cute is that? This is Rhapsody yarns, and they are on Etsy. This is 100% superwash merino, 100 grams, DK 225 meters, and the colourway is Vicky. But this is just a gorgeous yarn. Thank you, Beck. I sent her a mini for her Dust of Snow wrap that has just come out for Knit Vent, which is Curious Handmade. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how she puts it all together, because I think she's got a particular idea in mind, and I really hope she makes it. I'm putting that back in the bag. And then this took 3.5 weeks to get to me. 3.5 weeks. Canada. This is a Mrs. Brown's bag. So those of you who watch The Grocery Girls will know what this is automatically. This is fabric that has been printed from a photo she's taken of yarn and then made into a project bag, and it's huge. It's really big. They did a Canadian Thanksgiving sale where she did free international postage, and I went, well, for international postage, I still had to pay customs on it, but still, love it. How cool is that? Is the yarn that's there? But yeah, it's just a simple box bottom bag, but it has so much room in it. Canvas lined. I love it. It's really nice. It's been holding a couple of projects, and it squishes down really. So those are my new things. I think that's it. So I did mention the V word. I will be doing Vlogmas. I will not be posting every day. What I'll be doing is I'll be filming every day, and then I think every 5 days I'll hit upload and you'll see the last 5 days worth of action. It will be mostly following me around and seeing what I'm doing. So on the first, I'm actually going to see if, some friends that I haven't seen for ages. So I'm going to have to see if they're happy for me to film them. If not, I'll do like the journey there. And I'm going to the Pearlescence Open Day on the way. There's a craft fair on the Sunday on the way back. And then just general life in the run up to Christmas. I've got some training I need to go to in Aylesbury, so I can take you on that journey. And I don't know whether I'll do it all the way up to New Year or whether I'll stop on Christmas Eve. I don't know, but we'll play it by ear. But yes, I am going to be doing Vlogmas. I'm going to be taking this camera with me everywhere I go. This thing is obnoxiously blue. So, and it's a handy cam. It's not like it's not a camera that also can film. It is it's a filming camera. So people notice when I'm filming. But we'll see how we go. They might be stupidly short. There might be days where I just go, hi, I'm tired, the toddler didn't sleep, I'll see you tomorrow. But yeah, I think it'll be fun. I haven't done Vlogmas for a couple of years. God, 5 years? A long time. But yeah, it'll be something a bit different. Anyway, show notes as normal are going to be on my blog, and that'll be linked below. I'll also link where you can find me on the internet. I am sophiexuan, X-U-A-N, on Instagram and also on Ravelry. I also have a Instagram, what's the word? Account for this podcast, and also for any businessy things I do, which is not much at the moment, which is Spring Snowflake. And you can find me there, but the place I'm most active is on my personal account on Sophie Swan on Instagram, so definitely come and check me out over there if you haven't. If you have liked what you've seen, please do subscribe and give me a thumbs up. I've never said that before, but I'm going to, because I finally got my community stuff unlocked by YouTube, so I can now put polls and I can put updates on your subscription feed and all sorts of stuff, which actually is quite a big thing for me, because I was hoping to send updates to my subscribers to say, hello, I'm not dead, it's fine. But I didn't then realise that I actually didn't have that bit enabled, but now it is. So the more subscribers I get and the more likes I get, the more people can see me and the more things I can do basically with YouTube, which is always good. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you are having a fabulous week and are looking forward to the run up to Christmas. I'm just loving that the sun's out. It's been horrible for the last 24 hours. I love winter. I don't love winter when it's windy and rainy. But winter for me is actually one of my favourite seasons because it means snow. And we all know that I love a bit of snow. Anyway, I hope you are well. I hope you have lots of fun things to make and that you are not furiously making presents for other people like me. Idiot. Why did I do that? And I will see you very soon. Bye! Okay. Oh, why are you not wearing your scarf, Sophie? Because it's frickin' cold. See, that's better. Oh, I'm starting to get the feeling back on my lip. I'm lopsided. Okay. This is going to be hilarious. Let's see how we do. Right. Oh, you're out of practice, Sophie. But you have a decent background and hopefully that light is okay. Let's just hope that the dark cloud doesn't come across. I love winter. I don't like the light conditions. The sooner I get my studio lights, the better. And yeah, that's from the bag, isn't it? Oh, I'm gonna have to get a cleaner. Ha!